Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Well, today with all the snow outside, it's a great day to be indoors with a cup of coffee and to sit and to think about what's really important in life. You know, if you don't take some time now and then to think through what you're doing and why you're doing it and what really matters, what's really true, well, it's just so easy to end up steering off course and not even realize it. And this week we're going to be talking about a topic that connects with that. It's idolatry. Idolatry is the worship of an idol, and an idol is a false god. And so idolatry leads us in false directions in our life. Now, most of the time when we talk about idols and idolatry, we picture something like this: a statue or an image made out of stone or wood, metal, or some other material that represents a god to someone. And you can imagine in some places in the world that an elephant would make a great symbol of strength and power. Somebody could say, hey, we're going to make an elephant and have that represent our God because our God has got to be strong and powerful. Now, that reveals something about idols. And in the Bible, very often, when the prophets want to call out idol worship and describe how ridiculous it is for the people, they will mock it, saying, look, here you've made something with your own hands out of some inert material that has no life in it, and yet you're bowing down to it and acting like it now has some sort of cosmic power to change your life. And it's like, can you imagine anything more ridiculous? I mean, how stupid can you be that you make something with your own hands, vest it with cosmic powers in your mind, call it a god, and worship this thing? Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. And many of us think, well, yeah, that would be ridiculous, and I'll never do anything like that. But we've got to understand that this idol, being made with human hands, is not the only thing man-made about it. The whole idea of it, it's all our own manufacture, our own ideas. In fact, what these idols represent are the desires and purposes that a human has, that they are vesting in this idea of a God, saying, this is what I need from a God. I need something powerful and mighty because I want to be powerful and mighty. And many times these will represent fertility or prosperity. If you're in an agrarian culture, you might do what the people around the people of Israel did. They worshiped a calf or a bull as that representation of fertility and prosperity, where your herds would multiply and be strong, and a bull would represent that really in a wonderful way. And so all of those idols represented the goals, the purposes, the ideals, the values of the people who were making them. And so that we realize now that an idol is not just the object, it's the idea that goes into it. It's the idea that we could create our own destiny, that we have our own purpose and plans that we have forged, and that a God is there just to support us in achieving our own desires and aims. Now, when you come to worship the real God, the living God, you deal with something altogether different. Instead of this object that you can tell it what it's supposed to do, all of a sudden you're dealing with a real person. God is not just some object or something that we can manipulate or coerce, but God is truly mighty and knows so much more than us that it no longer can be just about what you want, what your plans are, what your purpose is. You have to deal with this person of God. And all of a sudden you have to regard all of God's purpose and God's plans. And so that false idols will lead us only to our own ends. And so our idols in our life always are focused there. And many of us will take up the pursuit of money or objects, wealth, prosperity, achievement in our life and it will become a God to us. That will become the heart, soul, passion of our lives. It will be what we expect any God that's out there to support. It's time for you and me to surrender those false gods, to put our plans and purposes under the purpose and plan of God. So may God bless you today, and as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.